There was once a monk named Jinwei who lived in a remote monastery nestled in the mountains. He was a dedicated monk who had devoted his life to the teachings of Buddha. He spent his days meditating, chanting, and studying the scriptures, and was known for his unwavering commitment to his spiritual path. Despite his dedication, Jinwei felt like something was missing. He felt a sense of emptiness that he couldn't shake no matter how hard he tried. He longed for a deeper understanding of the world and a way to truly connect with the people around him. One day, a traveler came to the monastery and spoke with Jinwei. The traveler had been all over the world and had seen many things that Jinwei could only imagine. The two of them talked for hours, and Jinwei was fascinated by the traveler's stories. He realized that there was so much more to life than what he had experienced in the monastery. Jinwei began to wonder if he had chosen the right path. Was he truly living the life that he has meant to live? He had always assumed that being a monk was his fate, but now he wasn't so sure. As the days went on, Jinwei found himself increasingly restless. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was meant for something more. He began to question everything that he had ever known, and he felt lost and alone. One day, he decided to leave the monastery and explore the world for himself. He didn't know where he was going or what he was looking for, but he knew that he had to find out. Jinwei set out on his journey with nothing but the clothes on his back and the teachings of Buddha in his heart. He wandered through cities and towns, across deserts and through forests, never knowing what he would find. As he traveled, he encountered many people who were struggling with their own problems. He saw poverty and injustice, and he felt a deep sense of compassion for those who are suffering. Jinwei realized that his calling was not to be a monk, but to help others. He decided to dedicate his life to making a difference in the world. He founded a charity to help poor and needy, and he worked tirelessly to raise money and awareness for his cause. He traveled the world, speaking to anyone who would listen, and he became a powerful advocate for the less fortunate. Jinwei's efforts were not in vain. He inspired countless people to join his cause, and he raised millions of dollars to help those in need. He became a beacon of hope for those who had lost everything, and he gave them a reason to believe that things could get better. Years went by, and Jinwei continued to work tirelessly for his cause. He had found his true calling, and he knew that he was making a difference in the world. One day, Jinwei received a letter from the monastery where he had spent so many years as a monk. The letter informed him that the head monk had passed away and that they were in need of a new leader. They asked Jinwei to return to the monastery and take on the role of head monk. Jinwei was torn. He had dedicated his life to helping others, and he didn't know if he was ready to return to the monastery. But he also knew that he had a responsibility to the monks who had been his family for so many years. In the end, Jinwei made the difficult decision to return to the monastery. He knew that he could continue to help others even from within the confines of the monastery walls. Jinwei became the head monk of the monastery, and he brought with him a new perspective and a deep sense of compassion for all beings. He inspired the other monks to reach new heights in their spiritual practice, while also encouraging them to help those in need. Under Jinwei's leadership, the monastery became a center for charitable work, and the monks began to dedicate themselves to helping the surrounding communities. They built schools, hospitals, and community centers, and they provided food, shelter, and clothing to those in need. Jinwei's work had not gone unnoticed. He was recognized for his tireless effort to help others, and he was awarded numerous accolades for his humanitarian work. He had changed the lives of countless people, and he had shown them that anything was possible if you put your mind and heart into it. As he looked back on his life, Jinwei realized that everything that had happened had led him to where he was now. He had been a monk, a traveler, and a humanitarian, and he had learned something from each experience. He realized that there was no such thing as a predetermined fate. Your destiny was in your hands, and it was up to you to make the most of it. He had followed his heart, and he had found his true calling. And in doing so, he had changed not only his own fate, but the fate of countless others. Jinwei continued to lead the monastery, but he also continued to work for his charity. He traveled the world speaking about the importance of compassion and kindness, and he inspired others to follow in his footsteps. And even when his time on earth came to an end, Jinwei's legacy lived on. The monastery and the charity that he had founded continued to help those in need, and his teachings continued to inspire generations of monks and humanitarians. Jinwei's story is a reminder that we all are capable of changing our fate. It may not be easy, and it may require us to take a risk and leave our comfort zones. But if we follow our hearts and dedicate ourselves to a cause greater than ourselves, we can achieve greatness and make a difference in the world.